group interview.
4강까지 갔을 때는 되게 기분이 좋았는데 4강에서 지고 나서는 만족감보다는 그냥 진 거에 대한 슬픔이 훨씬 크더라고요. 그래서 이번 시즌이 얼른 좀 시작했으면 하고 기다리고 있었어요.
뭔가 4강 가면 다음 시즌 시드도 받고 많이 편한 것 같은데 항상 그 문턱에서 떨어지니까 아쉬운 느낌이 없지 않아 있는 것 같아요.
전 경기랑 전전 경기 할 때부터 좀 아파가지고 안 움직이더라고요, 잘 하는데. 그래서 그냥 뭔가 쉬고 싶었어요.
Hello GSL fans, I'm Reynor. You probably know me at this point, but yeah, it's been a while since I played. I'm very excited. I thought Maru was gonna win at the beginning, but yeah, Hero played very good. I like Hero, I'm a big fan.
잘하더라고요, 준호 형이 되게. 반대쪽 선수가 좀 아쉽지 않았나.
우승했다는 소식 듣고 그냥 분필의 기원자의 타이틀이 좀 여러 개 있었으니까요. 부럽다 이런 생각했습니다.
이번 시즌은 성주가 우승을 했으면 좋겠고 성주를 주목해야 될 것 같습니다. 성주를 더 좋아하는데 준호 형 연습 도와준 게 좀 지금까지도 좀 그렇거든요. 네. 그리고 성주가 이번에는 GOL을 했으면 좋겠고 같이 잘했으면 좋겠습니다.
아, 너무 잘하던데요, 레이너? 아니, 그 못 이길 것 같아요, 레이너는. 레이너가 우승할 것 같은데, GSL. 한국인들 다 먹히지 않을까, 레이너한테.
아무래도 뭐 레이너이지 않을까요? 그러니까 이렇게 좀 호흡이 긴 대회에서 어떻게 할 수 있을지 뭐 안 나면 좀 무섭기도 하겠죠.
아, 민수랑 토론해야죠. 죽을 수도 있어요, 령호 형이랑 싸우면. 령호 형이랑 팔씨름도 해보고 그냥 몸도 곳곳 다 만져봤는데 이건 좀 다른 것 같아요.
저는 전자 선택할게요. 스파링 계속 도망치다 보면 지치지 않을까 이런 거? 못 쫓아올 것 같아가지고. 민수랑 건설적인 대화 토론? 어떤 뭐 논리 정연한 사람이 와도 불가능하다고 봅니다.
Oh, definitely going with the fight with Dark. Solar is a friend of mine. We're good friends. But yeah, I think a boxing fight between me and Dark would be very good. I would like to see that.
민수 때리는 건 없나요? 그거는 잘할 자신 있는데 령우는 솔직히 너무 무서워가지고 민수랑 차라리 밸런스 토크가 나을 것 같아요.
뭐야, 저 완전 저 15살 땐가? 처음에 딱 갓 데뷔했을 때 같은데. 네, 애땐 것 같아요. 돌아가고 싶네요.
Well, that's me at 2012, I wanna say. I was very young, and yeah, that was my first event ever. It was an Italian event. I think it was one of the first ever. Ooh, this was GSL, the first time I was here. It's great memories, honestly. I wish the tournament went better, but it was one of my first experiences with big tournaments, and yeah, that's one of my favorite pictures.
이때가 아마 21살이었는데 21살이어서 자신감 있게 했는데 지금 보니까 괜히 했네요.
예, 대엽이가 스트리밍을 하고 있었는데 GSL 뭐 촬영이 있었나? 하여튼 갔다가 이제 그거 화장 지우고 머리 세팅한 거 풀려고 자기 전에 남자들은 다 그렇게 어릴 때 그렇게 배우잖아요. 아버지랑 목욕탕 가면 머리는 그렇게 터는 거다 배웠는데 좀 숭하게 나오긴 했네요.
재밌게 할 거고요. 편하게 할 거고 더 대충 하겠다는 소리는 아니고요. 열심히 하고 레이너랑 한번 하는 것도 재밌을 것 같고.
지난 시즌에 둘도 없는 기회라고 생각을 했는데 결국 이뤄내지 못해가지고 너무 아쉬웠는데 이번 시즌이 더 둘도 없는 기회라고 생각하거든요. 그래서 열심히 준비해가지고 반드시 좋은 성적 거두고 싶어요.
1시즌 6등, 2시즌 5등 했으니까 이번엔 최소 4강 가서 슈터 시드 받고 또 아틀란타 시드도 받고 편안하게 좀 연말을 맞이하는 그림으로 가고 싶네요.
I obviously came here to win it. I think that's obviously my goal, and it's not gonna be easy. We know it's one of the best tournaments, the hardest challenges ever. But yeah, that's why I'm here. Obviously, my goal is always to win every tournament, and GSL is no different. Maybe like I have more motivation to win this one. Obviously, never been won by non-Korean, so I think it's time.
Today's matchup. Bunny. Reynor. Dream. DRG. Round of 20. Group B. 2022 Hot 6 GSL Season 3.
Welcome back to the Group B of GSL 2022. Of course, the time that I go intro on from the
year
break
is 20,000, and gamers are here to compete for money. This is the future we have wrought.
20,000 years of meta shifting, and all we get is CC first, man.
I know,
We
the
had
future.
surprising results so far. Bunny with a 2-1 win over Reynor. I think a lot of people were expecting Reynor to get out of the group win first, but instead getting pushed down to the losers match. Got a little bit of his tournament lifeline on the line, and now the winners match going to be a TVT. For a second,
Hell yeah, dude.
Coming into today, we thought we might just have nothing but TVZs, but
Dude, we
got
already
some
know
mirror
that's all
matches.
CC first. I don't need to see anymore.
It's solved.
It's boring.
Everybody go
Everybody
home.
knows you go CC first in this matchup. We figured that out. We can end StarCraft 2 now. This is going to be a fun one, though, with these two. I do think Bunny's slightly favored. Dream is pretty fierce. I don't know if I can say these guys are playing better than normal because they did have build order wins to get here
Yeah.
in the same matchup.
It does kind of feel that way.
But we're going to go to Inside and Out. And then we're going to go to Moon Dance for map 2.
Yeah.
Data C map 3. Let's do this.
Both guys looking pretty happy. Happy to be here in the winners match.
Certainly. And of course, after this, we do have an exciting ZVZ with Reynor versus DRG.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, man.
I can't wait to see that, especially like Reynor. I mean, he goes head again against people like Cyril all the time in ZVZ. So to see him play against a Korean Zerg here in GSL live in the studio, and
It's gonna be
DRG
sick.
like an historic Zerg as well, it's going to be fantastic. But before we get there, Dream versus Bunny, one of these players is going to go on to the round of 10.
That's right, and escape from Group B. The other, the loser, is going to go to the final match and play the victor of the ZVZ that comes after this. Guys, tell your friends to join us. It's so good with GSL Season 3 being back here. We've got a big audience down here. Great to have you guys here in the studio. And for those of you online, man, it's so cool. We've got Reynor here with us. We've got non-Koreans playing in the GSL again. Finally, things are starting to get back to normal. Our game is now loading up. This is the map Inside and Out in a TVT with Dream versus Bunny. Let's see what happens.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day.
You might have a fast day here, Nick.
What is he going to do? Is he going to scout him and then make a CC first? What's going on here? How does this work?
I think you got it. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, man. Yeah. It's going to be, wow, second barracks.
I don't feel like we
Okay.
see this that often, TVT, by the way.
No, not really. I'm
Like
really,
TVZ, yeah, I mean, we had it all the time.
really unexpected. I got excited when we saw on the monitors before the player intros that the SCV was coming out already. And I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
gonna be one of those days, man. We've had a lot of interesting Terran builds so far. CC first in almost every single TVZ, every single one that they won at least, and now.
But State, how does this work? I mean, does he return minerals to those barracks? I don't get how this is going to win the game. Like,
He's gonna be taking gas with this as well. I'm excited for what we're seeing out of Dream so far today, man.
okay, now where's the SCV going to go? Come on, click on it.
There's
Show
no
us.
way he scouts for a 2-Rax. I mean, this has got to be
Well-
like so out of the box, right?
Yeah, well, it seems like this would come down to when the like the red player would send the SCV, right? Because you can also scout for proxies by just going to their main and seeing that the barracks aren't there.
Yeah. Oftentimes, it's the more efficient way of
Yeah,
scouting for
to be
proxy.
honest.
Sometimes we'll see people just send their probe or their SCV all the way around the map, and like they will barely like miss the one spot it's in. It's
They'll
like, well,
scout everything but the proxy.
yeah, it's like, well, if you went to the main base, you would have just known. But yeah, he will see double gas now, no barracks in the main, so he certainly has an idea. As you see that Reaper already rallied up to the high ground, where those Reapers for Dream will be coming up, and gonna have to see how Bunny defends this. First Reaper already in. There are 2 SCVs here for Bunny.
The Reaper duel starts.
Yeah, he's going to have to go down.
Yeah, I think Bunny actually got the edge on that. Now, obviously, there's regen here for the Reaper. A Marine's going to come out second, which will not help the way that it should.
It'll add some DPS. We'll have to see if he might actually be able to pick up one of these.
Oh, God. Oh, he's microing.
Yeah, Dream with some really good control right now. Can he get out of this? No, the surround!
Oh, he gets him.
Oh, he got him. Oh, barely not getting them both. That was a nice surround, though. They're critical to keep the Reaper count for Dream as low as possible, as he's now going to be able to push these out.
Okay, so I feel like you can't lose the first couple Reapers when you do this.
Yeah,
like it's all about momentum. I get what he was doing. He had one that was really low, but he like ran behind the minerals. It's not the hardest thing in the world to trap him there. Now, will he come back up? I guess he has to if he's going to keep making Reapers, right? There's no reason why he wouldn't.
Yeah, the fourth one pops, and now he's got a good number of nades, so he's actually going to be able to keep these units back. I mean, the Marines of the Hellions will have a tough time engaging into this. We'll see. Nades coming in, pushing everything back, and yep, just trading damage. And keep in mind, any damage on those Marines is effectively permanent at this stage in the game, and the Hellions will also have to be repaired. And I love this Barracks flying in to get intel on exactly whether or not he can push in. Oh, one Reaper jumping up.
There's like some synchronized swimming going on there.
He's going to be body blocking with this too.
Oh, that's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, this is cute, and that's a lot of Reapers, man.
I never would have guessed he would have landed this here.
Those are some huge grenades. 2 Reapers going down, though, for Dream.
Yeah, Bunny's just shutting this down. Already, right now, Dream's in hot water.
Yeah, that was some nice control there, but as you said, it is very much a game of momentum when you're playing these Reaper styles, and yeah, losing that one Reaper very early in the mineral line just set him back a lot. And he will be expanding behind this, but almost a full CC in terms of timing behind of Bunny right now is Dream, and Cyclone will be the choice as well, as the CC is slowly working its way to the natural expansion here for Bunny.
I think he wanted to like land that where the CC was, and it's like just never going to happen, but I think that's what was happening back there. You never want this Barracks to get into the red that quickly, because it does just burn down. And it is a necessary spotter in the matchup.
And Dream, I think, recognizing that he's going to kind of need to do something a little bit out of the box to make up for the lost ground that this kind of floundered, right? This Reaper pressure here in the early game. He wasn't able to get as much done as he wanted to. So now instead going for a Raven, going for a Cyclone, going 3 CC is Dream. So that'll be the angle that he tries to take to find a path back to equalizing in this one against Bunny. But interesting build selection nonetheless. I mean, we don't really see Proxy Reaper like that too often in TPT, so it's fun to see Dream mixing it up.
Yeah, we're also kind of seeing, though, like, why you don't see it all the time, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You look at that, you're like, well, there's a reason why this is not the go-to cheese here. But yeah, TBT, normally it's a pretty, a little bit of a slow matchup to start, at least. Now, Bunny is in a considerably better position. He's up in supply. Worker count's fairly even, but the Army, this is already a pretty big lead, 16-31.
Yeah.
TBT, it used to be a matchup that couldn't end in 2-base versus 2-base, but that has changed a little bit. I think people are a little bit better at not dying on 2-base now, but taking a loss like that early on, with Ravens, Cyclones, and tanks, sometimes you can kind of just like come at them and like disable what they have and, you know, drop in and kill them off. So we want to watch if Bunny tries to go for that.
Yeah, the engagements get really tricky when you have a lot of abilities like this, especially in TBT, where so much of the combat comes down to critical units such as those Ravens or those siege tanks. So we'll see if Dream is really able to utilize the unit set that he has right now. But looking at the armies, just straight up, Bunny's is, as you said, way better. Not only is he ahead in army supply, but he has more siege tanks right now. And this comp, especially with all these Marines, is going to be tough to deal with, I think, for Dream. Now, I'm not sure whether this is going to be something that allows him just to straight up break Dream, even though Dream is going for the 3rd CC, but certainly Contain is in the cards, and these Reapers coming back for revenge.
Like, remember
right
us? Remember us from the start of the game?
It's funny because this is actually way more damage than he was able to
We're going to get our closure.
Oh, those are some really nice.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, wait, what's happening? I'm sorry, I didn't realize the tank at the top was disabled, too.
Yeah, both those tanks got disabled, and Bunny able to clean up both tanks there for Dream is really critical right now, as Dream with his tank count almost entirely reset. I think he only has one just above the natural command center, and
He can start shelling the add-ons. This is the funny thing. As much as they try to make it like, well, it doesn't matter which side of the map you start on.
Oh, it does.
In TVT, it does.
It really
because the
does.
add-ons come out on the right side. And so, and also, losing add-ons, it causes such a problem for production. That Raven lives, are you kidding me? What?
yeah, even the starport has to be lifted. SCVs have to be pulled to repair right now, and Dream was really relying on having a lot of critical units like siege tanks to defend this, but it has been working for him so far right now. Bunny just kind of riding the momentum of a great first engagement to getting a lot more damage done. 20 SCVs.
Oh my God.
This is looking devastating, man.
No stim, no problem. The siege tanks do all the work anyways. Yeah, 29 is GG.
No
I'm
surprise
sorry,
there.
CC. All right, let's go to game 2.
For a second, I was thinking that maybe
Look
it
at
would
Bunny.
just be, yeah.
He's just like, man, I'm having a great day today. Like,
yeah, beating Reynor to start
this is
things
Bunny's
out.
finals right now, guys. Bunny's having the best day of the year for sure right now.
Yeah, he's all smiles.
Remember when he beat Reynor and he tried to drink from his water and couldn't because he was smiling?
Yeah. That's definitely a great start to the GSL Code S here for Bunny. And for a second there, I was even thinking that, maybe he might not even be able to break the natural expansion, because, like, it is still tough. Like, when you both have Vikings, you both have Ravens, you both have Siege Tanks, sometimes it can get kind of stalematey. But that engagement, I mean, getting those, I want to call them lockdowns right there on, like, the Siege Tanks and disabling those.
What is that thing? I actually don't know what that's called. I just say disable.
I always say
This
disable,
is like a dark
man.
secret I have, is that I don't know like a lot of the ability names in any of the StarCrafts. I have like
Yeah,
my
like
own terms for them.
the snipe is like steady aim or something. Actually, I think. Like, I don't actually. I'm a pro
Well,
player,
we're
man, I don't know
erasing
these
history.
things.
No, that's the funny thing. People are like, Mr. Job, you're supposed to know. I'm like,
No,
the names of the
snipe.
abilities, I need to know what they do.
It's snipe.
It's snipe, man. You heard the sound effect? You tell me that's not it. It's not.
That's a
silencer
snipe.
on that.
All right, guys. Map number 2. Let's go. Dream versus Bunny.
Definitely not going to be double racks, but I could dream.
Watch they both go like CC first.
Yeah, and then they both go for like a
Good
third
game,
CC,
game.
and I'm like, all right,
Dream.
I don't like this anymore. I don't know how often we have CC first in StarCraft 2 TVT.
I feel like
can't-
would not be viable, right? Like, I don't really.
Team NV.
I'm sure I
Bunny.
casted it at some point in time, but
Oh, of course. With how much StarCraft you've casted, I feel like
and
you've casted everything.
It's all a giant soup in my brain that
Yeah.
it's hard for me to pick out when it all happened.
It's like one of those. You ever read about these like pots that have been like boiling for like 1,000 years? Like this like soup that never stops. Like, that's
right.
you in
This
StarCraft
is me. This is
2,
me
man.
in my mind.
Like, you scrape deep enough and like you're down to like fruit dealer in
That's
like
right. Yeah,
2010.
it comes in there. You just stick something in my brain and go deep enough, and I go, oh, Baneling bus on one base.
Yeah, no CC's coming out, but yeah, CC first. I don't even think like with the way that tempo goes with like Reapers and Hellions, and like even Starport units coming out. Like, I feel like
Maybe if you got a Cyclone really fast. I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
think.
Anyways, I mean, it's just funny that we've had that. No doubt though. We're going to have a TVZ to end this off, and so we want to see. We want to see if the Zergs, do some kind of adjustment to be like, all right, are you trying this again?
yeah.
I'm not letting this happen.
Instead, just gonna have mirrored builds right now. Drew and Bunny just
Right.
both going Reaper, 2 gas, kind of more of what we expected there in map number 1.
Yeah.
Just kind of a slow build as they fill out their tech trees, both factories going down. And I'm really liking what we're seeing out of both of these guys so far today, though. This is not really the winner's match that we expected. Like, not to take anything away from Bunny. Bunny is one of the best Terran players in the world, definitely one of the best Terran players in Korea.
Right.
But Reynor, with how storied this guy is in the international scene, like, this has been top 2 international, like, forever. And a lot of people at times saying, and quite convincingly so, that he has a case to be like the top player in the world, when he gets to his peaks. Like, Reynor is fantastic. So for Bunny to come in and take the first set 2-1, now winning map number 1 here in the winner's match.
I've been saying this for a long time, but like every time I see Bunny play, he is a better version than the time before. That is
true.
how you become the best in the world. Is you just try to iron out the wrinkles in your play as best you can, and then test it out, and rinse and repeat. And so I guess we're gonna finally have what is a more ordinary game here. They're both gonna start their tech and then expand quietly after that.
Only a little bit of divergence so far with Bunny going for Widow Mines. Dream playing a little bit more map control centric here with the Hellion, but all is said and done, we're probably going to arrive in the mid game in effectively the same way. TBT is usually a nice little peaceful matchup like this here in the early stages.
I actually think this is one of my favorite matchups in the game, to be honest.
Yeah?
I think it's a lot of fun to watch the map control, but it doesn't have the stagnation that StarCraft 1 TBT has, where it's like they can't kill each other. Like someone gets ahead and it's like, well, I'll see you in 20 minutes, you know. Where as long as I do everything perfectly, I'll keep that like 60% lead and slowly close it out. I think they've fixed this matchup a lot in StarCraft 2.
That's fun. I like how technical it is too with all these units. Like things can like kind of turn on a dime with some really good ability usage or some really nice strategic positioning, or like getting a critical scan when like the siege tanks are in range and your opponent doesn't realize.
It's also funny because like we had all these different approaches, like people that just went bio forever, and then we had people that went mech, and then there was of course the marine tank. It does seem like people have concluded that the marine tank is basically like the way to play, but people can go mech. Every once in a while you go mech and Artosis gets all excited, you know, and starts moving his chair and going, ow, ow, factories everywhere.
Double armory.
Double armory. that would be upgrading his mech units. But it does seem like basically people want to get a couple tech units like Ravens, excuse me. They want to get some tanks. We do have skirmishes like what's going to happen here, where it's like Reapers, Marines, Cyclones, and Hellions and all that come out. But eventually it does go to tank Marine very often.
Yeah, and these little skirmishes are often very fun too. It's kind of reminiscent of a lot of the way that like Björn would play a variety of different matches, where like his armies always kind of look like he has like a little bit of everything, and like the engagements are really funky, but sometimes he makes it work. And that's kind of where TBT has gone with like these compositions, like grenades, cyclones, widow mines, and a raven. It can be a little awkward to kind of like finesse your units into getting maximum value, but it's really fun to watch.
Okay, so he's not going to get in and be able to do that much. This map gives you a free base in the back of your base. In some matchups, that can be really interesting. In TBT, I feel like you'd be a fool to not just take it.
Yeah, you're right about that. It does have less gas and less minerals, if I'm not mistaken, but it's still, in your pocket. You might as well.
It's free, and also, like, you don't want to be pushed and risk anything. And so, I mean, I think this will be probably the slowest game of today's GSL, because it's a Terran taking the third base, and when you have the tank line and Ravens patrolling like we see here, nothing's going to get in there, right? And so they're both going to power up. This is going to be a real test of macro ability. It does seem like Bunny is just ahead overall.
It does seem that way. He does have the army supply advantage, and actually coming in here, oh, those are fresh mules. A couple hundred minerals down the drain right there.
That's a pretty sick tactic by Bunny, because you're going to want to try to drain that out really quickly, and just to deny the mule drop.
Denies the drop, and also like that was another 2 mules that weren't mining for 10 or 15 seconds, and that's pretty critical. That's a lot of minerals down the drain.
And Bunny's going to go for a contain. I don't feel like we have this as often in TBT, but I guess if you both take a third, one guy can run out and just contain the other, or maybe push up into the main. I think both are acceptable depending on where you see the weakness at. But he's coming. He's going for it, man.
Yeah,
now,
he is.
This is different from closing out the game. I don't think he's going to try to end this, but it's also going to make it hard to get a fourth, and a fourth is going to be inbound soon enough.
It looks like right now he has a superior. Oh, man.
Okay.
So many disables. Really an awkward fight right now, so they're just kind of going blow for blow. But the critical thing, I think, is Bunny with his air control. These Vikings actually landing on the tanks is huge.
Oh my God, it actually ended up working out.
Yeah, that's 3 tanks down there for Dream, and suddenly this contain, I mean, he did trade air superiority to kill those tanks, but we'll have to see if he's able to leverage that. I mean,
there's a Widow Mine up here. Oh, okay, he sees that, excuse me. Oh, there's a Raven there. Well, this is basically getting shut down by Dream.
I like that at the beginning, but it feels like he kind of overstayed his welcome just a little bit.
We had this happen in StarCraft games, though, where it's like one guy wins a fight, and he doesn't really have that much, and then he like just tries to keep fighting and loses his stuff. And I think a wise player is always the one that knows when it's time to pack it up and go back. And it's not the most exciting move in the game, but it is a clear way to just keep ahead and win.
Yeah, I did like the trading the Vikings out there for siege tanks.
That was smart, for sure. I would always give up a Viking to kill a siege tank.
He got 3 of them there too, but yeah, suddenly shoes on the other foot is Dream now kind of has that advantage and might be able to set up for a push here. As Bunny's actually going for, if I'm not mistaken, that's a low ground CC, so he was feeling really confident now. And we'll see if he's able to hold this off. He does still have 4 Vikings back at home, so he was not skimping on the air production during all of that, which was one of my fears as we saw him trade those Vikings out early. And if he's able to keep this low ground CC, that'll be quite advantageous for him, because after losing all those units at the front of Dream's base, I feel like he needs a little bit of an edge to kind of even the territory a little bit.
Okay, so he's going to try to wrap around here. Dream going to come in and maybe try to cut off access to this entrance to the natural.
Yeah,
he's going to stand. The siege is late, and so are the disables for Dream. I feel like Dream is just... Oh, but Dream has enough here to try to take a fight regardless. Yeah, from winning that fight earlier on. I guess it wasn't the cleanest engage, but it didn't really matter.
Yeah,
he just has enough.
Kind of surprising. I mean, there were really no disables on those back tank lines, but the Marine count was just high enough that he was able to break through and take this critical position on the 4th base. Now that it's a planetary fortress over there.
These Marines are going to fight this. This is actually totally insane that I'm even watching this. All right, he pulls back. I think Bunny may end up losing here.
I think so too. I mean, air superiority is really tough to contest right now. Those 4 Vikings, I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. Actually, even a 5th one. And Bunny, he's going to try and go for a drop to get some counter damage in, but Dream just in complete control of this section of the map. And this is a critical junction here for Bunny. I feel like he has to make something happen right now if he's going to come back in this game, because this is looking really rough for him right now.
Let's watch this drop. I mean, I don't know what he can do with this drop. I don't even think that was totally full of Marines. I could be wrong. Oh, I guess it was, but
it's just 1 medevac is the thing.
Yeah, it's just not very much.
6 SCVs is not enough, and he's right on top of the production right now, but a lot of more Marines are coming out here for Dream, and he will eventually be able to clean this up. Even getting the medevac there went down just off screen, and Dream just in complete control of this game right now.
I do want to point out that Bunny is caught up in workers, which is pretty important here. He was actually in the 40s for workers earlier on.
Yeah, but these engagements, actually a really nice flank here by Bunny. Able to go on both sides and equalizing just a little bit, but again, the army supply here for Dream is really high. You have to think that Bunny, even with a good engagement like that, is going to need a little bit more in terms of victory and controlling space if he's going to be able to equalize this completely, because the air control is still far in favor of Dream.
It does seem...
Oh, no.
It does seem like Dream, if he plays his hand correctly, he's going to be fine and probably win this. But if Dream overextends, that could cost him the game here as well. Bunny is still overall hanging here with him. You know, he's got enough bases. Dream could overextend. The supplies of the armies are close enough that, you know, a bad engage will even this out very quickly if Dream doesn't handle this right.
Bunny's doing a good job kind of playing the hand that he's been dealt right here in the mid game, but the air superiority right now for Dream is just so stifling for Bunny as the 4th base continues to get shelled, and even for a moment there, the Liberator was preventing any SCVs from mining, so just kind of bleeding him dry right now is Dream, as Bunny's counterattack there at the natural expansion, not really able to get much done either. And again, the air superiority here is the big story for me, is Dream. This is a tough position to break.
You know, Dream, he's still hacking away at the CC. SCV still can't mine. We do have the Marines coming here from behind. He's going to try to sandwich this, but look at this big attack coming from the bottom.
Yeah.
He chases him out, and I think he can retake this position that it seemed like just barely Bunny was able to fight back from. Bunny is really thinning out in numbers here.
He really is.
There's a 50 supply elite, that's it. GG.
Yeah, that's going to be it.
Dream takes game 2. Oh, they both glanced at each other. This smile glance.
Yeah.
They're having fun, but they won't be if one of them loses. One will.
Yeah, I can tell these guys both in good spirits here in the winners match, and that was kind of a funny little game too, as well as
they tied up 1-1 and looked at each other, and they were like, Raiders in the losers round.
Yeah,
that's what
I didn't
happened.
even consider that.
I guess we're the 2 guys in the winners. Isn't that cool?
But yeah, Dream just really leveraging his air superiority there to maximum effect. I mean,
Look,
Bunny had
Bunny
a
had
couple...
like a bad attack. It was just like, I don't think it was, I thought he was going to contain, but he was actually going to try to push up there and kill the tanks, and it just didn't work.
I didn't mind it completely, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but it felt like it wasn't a bad move for him going in there and killing like the siege tank count that he did, but then he decided just to stay. At that point, like, your reinforcements are so far off that you're just going to get cleaned up there, and that's exactly what happened. And then kind of the pendulum just swung back in the other direction, and Dream was able to just leverage that air superiority basically throughout the rest of the game into a win.
Yeah. Data C is where we're going to end this story. One of these two guys is going to escape to the round of 10. The other goes up against one of the two Zergs in the losers match.
I can do this all day.
Look at our lights, man. Epilepsy, watch out.
Good Game Gaming. Dream. Team NV. Bunny.
Okay, so back to, at least for now, kind of the same openings as game. Excuse me, the same openings as game 1, or game 2, excuse me.
Yeah.
I think that Bunny and Dream both got into an interesting position, and then I think Bunny just like tried something that really wasn't warranted. I don't think an attack at that time of the game, if you're both even, you don't usually just, you know, pulverize the buildings that are exposed on the high ground. I don't feel like that's
especially in a mirror matchup where you have like the same, you effectively have the same builds. I mean, you arrive at the same kind of composition, just in different ways, right?
Yeah.
And you're both going 3cc. Nothing. There were no skirmishes early in the game, and you're going to push across the map, and then you're going to try and break them. It's something that sometimes you'll see if like there's a far advantage player in terms of skill just kind of overpower somebody that's way lesser than them, but obviously that's not the case between these two guys. And I did kind of like what we saw out of Bunny with the first initial engagements, like the disables there on the tanks and then dropping the Vikings down and cleaning those up. But as we said, and as we harped on before, like did kind of overstay his welcome. And Dream really, to his credit, did not give that, how should I say this? He didn't take that opportunity and just throw it away.
Oh, no.
He leveraged that
immediately was like,
non-stop.
okay, let's go in there and shut down his base while I take my own.
And now both players just kind of going for the same builds again. Double Reapers, double Factories. Both going to be going for the low ground CCs, it seems. And yet another slow build. This might be a little bit faster than we saw in the previous map, because of course there's no backdoor expansion as we had in that one. But one thing I'm interested in seeing is whether these guys decide to diverge a little bit in unit compositions, because so far it's been quite similar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's going to be anything too crazy as far as like, I mean, if they go mech, we'll get to that when we get there, right? But you know, I think both these guys having experienced, you know, an attempt at something and then a loss, I think we're going to see probably the most conservative game out of the series. You know, we had Dream with the double racks with Reaper that just got shut down, and then Bunny. It was sort of a harebrained attack that was unwarranted. He wasn't ahead in any way, and you know, there's always a defender's advantage if you're, especially in mirror matchups, when you're basically doing the same thing.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a contain at first.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be some kind of a contain to force him to get medevacs and do that. Maybe against Vikings.
Bunny actually made the third Reaper and a second Hellion,
Yeah,
so he's going to try and go in with this.
Remember when I said it was going to be conservative? It's not.
It's
Sorry.
not. No, actually.
Oh man, he does finish the CC.
Yeah, that's critical. It's actually the Reaper's even jumping all the way up right now, getting some good damage on the Marines. Now one Reaper will go down, and it looks like Dream will barely be able to stabilize, but still bleeding out a lot of SCVs this early is never ideal. Finally, the Cyclone is out and able to push this back, but really like that. Actually, this Reaper, I thought it went down, but it's picking up another SCV kill.
Yeah, and I mean 6 kills is a lot.
Yeah,
this is 22 to 28 workers. Bunny, you know, powered up a little bit harder, came in, and he also knew that he could fly or hop up onto the high ground with the Reapers. And look, you know, these are small interactions that happen early on that have fairly big implications as the game continues to develop.
They really set the pace of the game because now Dream is kind of on the back foot.
Yeah, he's just like, it's like they're both in a race and he's just a little bit behind, and there's not a very obvious way to catch back up because, I mean, Bunny is not going to be slowing down worker production. It's going to be at least a distance of 6 to 5. And there's another drop coming in here for Bunny.
Yeah, the Cyclone moving away, potentially trying to catch some other drop that isn't in the cards right now, is Bunny just going straight across the map towards the main base. And that third CC, if Bunny is able to siege up over here, might get a cancel. There is a siege tank here.
Oh, I didn't even realize there was a tank in there. That's wild.
Yeah, he wants to hold his position.
Siege?
This is really bad for Dream.
Okay, auto turret comes down. This is the opportunity to play catch up here for Dream.
We'll be able to get 3 SCVs, it seems. 2 maybe. Oh, no! Whoa! Big catch there for Dream. He will lose the Cyclone, but he gets the medevac and the Marine, and
but
that's...
I think dropping the medevac's fine for that. I mean, he gets rid of the Cyclone. I mean, obviously, medevacs are important. They don't have a lot of starports. I'm sorry, this is 2 starports right now.
Oh, wow, he really wants to play the air control game.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, I'm actually glad that the observer caught that because I was that was not even a thing I was factoring in.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed either.
He can catch this Raven if he angles this right. The Raven was going to run out of map to try to do this, and the trajectory should meet.
Just barely getting away is that Raven, I think.
Are you serious?
That's crazy.
I blame the Viking.
You blame the driver.
That's the driver. You ever get frustrated with how slow a Viking is when you see that blue flame coming out of its in the back? It's like, is that really? You're slower than a drugged-up Marine?
I feel like we had better fighter jets in like the 2000s, like the 1900s.
Yeah. Do not take a flight on that thing if you're in a hurry.
All right, Bunny's going to be taking this position right now. These Vikings is 4 is a big number to top.
Ravens get to live. All Ravens live.
Yeah, man, those Ravens staying alive might be critical for Dream in defense right now, but this position, Bunny is playing really just the Raven Viking, or the Raven Viking, excuse me, the Siege Tank Viking game. This is such a difficult spot for Dream to break, and Dream, it looks like he's going to be focusing on trying to get some kind of disables in as he's going for yet another Raven, but...
Dude, he's going to lose that CC if he doesn't freak out and like repair that.
Oh my god.
Disable on the back tank, interesting, so he's
only
confident.
1 though. Well, turret's now coming in.
The Vikings should have landed earlier, but I'll tell you what, that's so funny. That turret up there doesn't reach the tank.
Oh, did it not?
It did not. It just it turned around. It looked to see if the CC was alive.
Yeah, this is looking like GG, man.
Uh-oh.
Bunny just riding the momentum of that early game skirmish.
The SCVs were pulled for a second, but then he unsieged, he backed up. I don't know, man. I like the Viking massing. You know, the Vikings kind of can control the air, and then if they need to land, like here we go. Can he land him in time? Can he land him in time and body block?
We'll see. Auto turret's coming down now. Vikings landing, but this is so many SCVs going down that Dream is pretty much on death's door, and Bunny just riding the momentum from that early game skirmish into a beautiful push with tanks and Vikings going to close it out. Be the first player to advance from Group B.
Bunny escapes. Dream is going to go down to that final match and play one of the 2 Zergs who's going to survive into that finals match. That was so short for a series, really.
Yeah, that was clean, too.
Yeah, very interesting game on both sides. Bunny going with a 3rd starport hidden in the bottom, giving him a little bit more Vikings. I mean, it sounds silly, but yeah, I mean, they can land and fight. We don't normally think of them as, you know, ground fighting units, but he controlled the air, drove back the Ravens. And from there, you know, he had a solid push, and it was a short and very action-packed TVT. Great series overall. We're now going to go to an interview with Bunny, see how he's feeling. He's moving on to the round of 10.
Bunny of Team MV is the first player to move out of Group B. We're going to have an interview with him. Congratulations. Thank you. You are the first place in Group B, and now you move on to round of 10. This is your second consecutive round of 10. How do you feel? Well, I did make a lot of practice beforehand, but I wasn't too confident during the process. So, you know, it kind of feels weird right now. Alright, so in Data C, you kept harassing the opponent, and then your fight on the ramp was so fantastic to watch as well.
승리 소감.
So how do you feel after winning that TBT?
태태전이 굉장히 좀 자신이 있는데.
Well, I'm quite confident with the TBT matches.
준영이가 온라인대도 많이 안 나오고 해가지고.
But you know, recently Dream has not been participating in online matches these days, so I was not able to make good analysis of him.
그렇게 좀 급하게 바이킹 내리고 막 그런 실수를 했는데.
So I did make some trivial mistakes, like with my Vikings, miss micro.
그대로 하더라고요.
But you know, Dream, he kept playing the same strategy, so I was able to exploit that.
전 세계 스타2 팬들이 주목했던 경기.
So all the StarCraft 2 fans around the world have been setting their eyes in the first match against Reynor. You lost to him in DreamHack, and it was the match against Reynor, and he's currently in the tier 4 position, which he should definitely not be in. So back in DreamHack, you know, I was preparing for GSL, so I was not able to make preparation for the DreamHack map. So this time I made sort of preparation with the new maps, and actually this time I was not confident. And now I beat him because I'm not confident. It's kind of like ironic. So Bunny, you definitely focus on strategizing, and we can definitely tell you made a sort of preparation beforehand. So in terms of micro, it felt like you had to gain the upper hand in terms of micro against him. Is that right? Well, I did practice a lot of games, and when I do that, it's because I'm really nervous ahead of the match. So I really have to make sort of analysis and think about the game before playing against Reynor. But this time I was not able to do that, so I brought out the OP build against him in the match. You know, in the last game against him, I did not upgrade my weapon. But you know, overall, I think I did really well. You know, the opponent did go for the carapace upgrade twice in a row. Reynor actually helped me with the scrims. And then he went for the same strategy that Reynor used today. So I was kind of prepared beforehand. And thanks to Ragnarok, you know, if the Zerg goes for Pneumatic Carapace, I definitely knew what to do. I was able to make preparation for that. Alright, let's talk something else. So last season you were eliminated in the round of 4, and at the time you said that you wanted to go on to the next season very quickly. So this season, I must go to the finals to reach my highest point in career. And I had a feeling that the round of 20 is going to be the hardest for me this season. But now that I've managed to come out of the group, I want to go to the finals all the way. Then one more question. So last season, you proved yourself to be a very strong opponent. And now you beat Reynor today, and then it feels like you're completely different in terms of skills. So you were actually one of the primary scrim partners for Hero last season. So did you make sort of preparation against Hero if you do play against him? I mean, Hero is a phenomenal player. But every time I face Hero, my confidence, my level of skills doesn't matter. Sometimes, I mean, he has inconsistency in his performance. So, you know, I definitely got to get lucky on the day I play against him. Alright, I'm looking forward to how Bunny plays in this last season of the year. So before you go, anything you want to say? Well, this season, I'm really desperate for the win. And at the same time, I'm not that confident, so I came here quite worried. But now that I've managed to move on in first place, I'm going to try to make better preparation from now on and try to show good results in the next round. And that was the interview with Bunny, the first place of today. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Excellent work as always. So, guys, we have 2 more best of 3s to go. Another mirror matchup now. We got to hope that Reynor can win here.
Yeah, Reynor versus DRG.
Sorry, DRG. Reynor needs to move on.
Yeah, I mean, his ZVZ is pretty good. He practices against guys like Cero all the time, especially like on the international scene. The Zerg players, I mean, in my opinion,
they have to be good. If you're Zerg and you're in EU or NA, you have to be good at ZVZ. So I expect Reynor to win there, and then he'll be going up against Dream. We'll see if Dream CC's first again or not.
Yeah.
Quick break, guys. We'll be right back.